Yo, my people, what's up? Welcome back to Shelf Stories, the channel that tells tales from games, books, and life. I am your host, Jason. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is a book chat, and I wasn't really intending to do one of these for a little while, but as indicated by the title, I definitely wanted to share some reflections on a topic. I'm going to cover that in the second half of the episode. I want to stay true to the spirit of the channel, stay true to the storytelling, stay true to, sharing positive things and, fun stories with the first half. So just going to hit you with a quick book recommendation. And of course, there it is, Black Panther. And the specific product that I'm going to recommend is the Nation Under Our Feet trade book. It was a series of issues released in 2016, written by Ta-Nehasi Coates, and the first couple of issues were drawn by Brian Stelfreeze, and there were a couple of artists that picked it up after that. So why am I recommending this one? Marvel's hard to get into. The issues are always coming out. You don't know what the tracks are. Is it alternate universe? Is it, do you have to read a million, backup comics in order to get into it? I'm going to pick this one because it kind of came in their phase of like all new, all different Marvel in 2016. It's a nice clean start. And it gets into a lot of the central themes that make Black Panther cool. So I'll recommend that one. A little bit of a backstory on that one, just to kind of share. Black Panther wasn't always cool, as any veteran comic reader would know. It was invented in the 60s, with an eye towards a little like representation. We have black artists, we have black readers. Let's make some black characters. They tried some. This one is the one that stuck, but always kind of stuck in the background. Some definitely unfortunate things have happened along the way. It was definitely kind of rebooted though in the mid 90s by the writer Christopher Priest, who's very famous. He's done a bunch of other things as well. I think he had a run on either Green Arrow or Green Lantern. I'm not a DC guy. I don't tell those two apart very well. Brady Sadler somewhere screaming into the screen. But Christopher Priest's run, he actually turns Black Panther into the Black Panther we know, that's cool from the movies. In terms of, deepening the character, talking about his king, the fact that he's a king. He's not just like a black Captain America or these kind of faceless things. He's actually trying to do good, but he's trying to do good as a ruler, which is a really interesting kind of push-pull that he plays with. Develops the world, gives it that kind of Afrofuturist, or at least it introduces Wakanda as this Afrofuturist land, and then it kind of got developed with other artists and other writers later. So you could pick, and they could pick up that entire run from Christopher Priest and, be satisfied. I like that. But this one I'm going to focus on because it does a lot to kind of bring together a lot of the themes of, that I think make Black Panther, brings together Wakanda and brings together the fact that it's a complicated world with factions. And, it brings together these moral dilemmas of like, I'm a ruler, I don't love my people, but the people are going kind of crazy right now. What do I do? You get your side characters. You get Shuri, and Shuri has her own arc, which is amazing. People love them some Shuri from the movie. So that's a good trade paperback. And if you follow up, there's other issues that come after that. They go intergalactic at some point, which I love. I love the intergalactic stuff. So go ahead if you want to level up your knowledge of Marvel past the MCU, at least in this part of the area, this part of the world. I think this is a good place to start. All right. So like I said, I wasn't really intending to do this one so fast, but on Friday, this past, we were in late August of 2020. We heard that me and my wife, we were together and we heard that Chadwick Boseman passed away. Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Black Panther, T'Challa. And we were devastated. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And it's weird, right? Why are we devastated by he's a celebrity at the end of the day, distant from us, not like we knew him or anything, but he meant a lot. And that the Black Panther, that movie meant a lot to us. My wife is Haitian, she's black, and therefore my kids, they're Afro-Latino, so they're black. And that movie was so unbelievably inspiring to her. It it opened up to her, and we went to it. She heard about it, so she's not a Marvel person at all. She's not a at all. She looks at my shelf. She wondered what the heck I'm doing down here. Um, but the fact that that movie grabbed her and inspired her, and and it was just everything. It was like, just the fact that it was so cool, and it looked so African, and it looked so majestic, but like not just like backward looking but forward looking. There's so much of the high tech stuff going on. Charging rhinos and everything that were glowing with lightning. That's so cool. The women, Shuri and Okoye, and so much, to be inspired by on a personal level. But I think like that movie needed Chadwick Boseman to be in the middle of it in order to be what it was. He brought a different energy to that we're not used to in the mainstream, big movie, extravaganzas. Now we're talking like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, those culture touchstones, um, for America here. I think the main thing I want to say is that it wasn't a stereotype. It wasn't just this thing that was invented and it's on the stage and it's like meant for like kind of the back of the theater, right? So when you talk about like black characters in movies, you're generally talking about kind of two main archetypes, right? You're talking about the strong man or the angry man, the butt kicker, right? Exemplified by Wesley Snipes and Blade. The first black superhero, but it didn't go far enough because Blade was at the end of the day not a great character. It was just like an angry dude that was kicking butt, which is great, but it's not like gonna really resonate with people on an emotional level. So you even have that, or you have like the funny guy. This is Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, and you have to like go all and make jokes and scream and all this kind of thing and like act like a real goof. You have other examples, Eddie Murphy in the cartoon movies and a couple other ones. They, in order to like, those were the role models. That's what I want to say. Those were the role models for if you wanted to kind of go into mainstream culture and mainstream pop culture. Those were the role models. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it wasn't wide enough, and every culture has stereotypes and every culture has like their problematic parts, but it felt like when it comes to the mainstream, when it comes to like the black experience, that's all you got. Now here comes Chadwick Boseman and here comes Ryan Coogler, the director, with a vision that was deeper and more emotional and more human. Has a family, has a sister, has a mom, has a love interest, and has difficulty, has that main enemy. They go back and forth with the Killmonger, and they have like philosophical conversations about like what to do, how to rule, and all that good stuff. I just it was just like such a horizon opening thing, and I really needed that actor. If you are familiar with his other work, he was amazing in 42, which was the Jackie Robinson biopic. The one that I'd seen even before this whole Black Panther thing, and other movies too. People are going crazy. I didn't see those movies. Like the James Brown, Thurgood Marshall. He was the biopic man. um, so yeah, that one hurt. I just wanted to make a video, kind of putting out there how his work kind of impacted our family, and to wish his family well, and kind of share the fact that I guess also the fact that he was 43. I'm 43, and it's like, wow, man, that was yeah, that was something else. And just a quick word about the issue of representation. I don't want to get too bogged down in this. I want to kind of answer that whole thing about like what's the big deal. This is a big deal. It is such a big deal to have cultural touchstones that look like the people in the culture, the people in the cultures, plural. You know, this isn't about representation. This isn't about checking boxes. Okay, we got now you got your black hero, now you got your lesbian hero, and you got your trans hero, and or whatever. Because it's kind of beyond race. Like we want the cultural touchstones to have race, class, profession, anything that constitutes somebody's identity. It's just very inspiring and very moving to see that represented in the cultural firmament, so to speak. And not just in the stereotypical way, not just like, if I want to get known, I have to be either, the angry guy or the funny, happy, slappy guy. That I can have depth and soul, that I can be an artist and put forward craft and put forward, seriousness, and still kind of be at the very center of what's going on in the culture, which is something that the Black community hasn't really experienced before now, and before Black Panther came out. So it's really important. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the franchise. Personally, I hope it continues. But I imagine that those discussions are happening and those debates are happening on social medias and all that. So I guess for now, all I want to say is rest in power, Chadwick Boseman. Your art was magnificent. It was inspiring. Your art made an impact to me and those I love. Praying for your loved ones as well. And thank you. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Just wanted to, that's kind of part of why I made the channel, right? When I have something to say, I want to be able to say it and just put it out there and, maybe open things up to discussion. Maybe there are other people that feel the same way that I do when they felt the same way I do when I heard the news. And, just kind of hearing somebody else talk about it might be a good way to kind of help them process, help them get through it. So part of the reason I wanted to put together this short video as well. So, that's about it. Hopefully some more gaming content coming sooner rather than later. But until then, this is Jason reminding you that if you can change your mind, you can change the world. And I'll see you next time. Later, everybody.